Hey fellas, just wanted to bring you an update on my wood processor. It's been a little over 2 years, I think, since I built it, or 1 year or 2 years, but the thing has done absolutely awesome. I've ended up busting a little over 100 tons so far this year over in the woods there. I got another 30 or so over there for my personal use. I've gotten a lot of questions on how I get the oil to the bar. It's just it's a pump that's for rear end differential cooling. Something made to pump really thick oil. Kind of got a bypass setup on it, and every time the saw bar comes on, this motor runs. I'll go ahead and walk through the rest of it, just a little bit of stuff on it. I did put electric jacks on the front. I got built a hydraulic tank, holds around 50 gallons, 45 to 50 gallons. 10-gallon gas can or tank there for the two main engines. Filtered both my returns. Got a temperature gauge in one of them, so I can kind of keep an eye on the hydraulic temperature. I built the exhaust here to kind of mimic how it's made on the mower and support that. And it's made it nice and quiet. You can actually hear everything running. You can hear what's going on around you. The two big motors actually they run just the main cylinder and the sawed chain. This next motor, it does all the accessories, the bar up and down, the clamp up and down, the live deck up and down, live deck in and out, the main chain, forward and reverse on the main chain. And I actually finally welded some lugs to that. I got tired of fighting the stuff coming into the machine, into the saw. Those have been a complete difference in the machine on how it works. Actually just took a few minutes here and actually wired this box up and changed the wiring and got it actually remote starts, and the keys switches all put in a dry location. I take the return oil from my small valve bodies and actually run it through the cooler there. It runs at the 6 gallon a minute through the oil cooler back to the tank. Both the big engines are running 15.5 gallon a minute at 3,600 RPM. They run at 3,000 pound or 3,000 PSI regulator or relief back there in the back. You can see. Then I've got some other questions, and basically I used electric solenoid valves. This is in and out. This is return and extend. This one is a saw bar, and when the saw bar operates, it turns on another electric solenoid valve there with that push button down through. When you push it, it actually will click the valve on, and that also turns on the oiler through a relay. The wedge, it's held up pretty well. If you've watched any of the first videos of it, the 6-way wedged, it did make it about 45 minutes till I broke those off. It's just too much pressure. Too much pressure on those. With the wedge, the way I had it made or something, it wanted to pry on them really hard. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but it's fully adjustable there with that cylinder. I'm running a Northern Tool 5-inch bore with 30-inch stroke cylinder. And then all the controls there. There's 3 or 4 of them there that's not used on it. I did get into my saw bar mount, got a little loose back here on the mount where it bolts the fixture that holds the bar, and she decided to eat just a little bit there. I got that fixed, found out that the bolts were loose on it. I'll show you real quick here. I do run something a little different on mine. That is a hydraulic motor right here that actually runs my top clamp up and down. Instead of using a cylinder, I used a hydraulic motor to run those up and down. Sorry about that. That's the 2 solenoid valves. That one's for the splitter and one's for the saw bar for the chain. And that's the one for the live deck. And then the rest of it's just a battery box, and I used a 6,000 pound axle underneath this. And this motor for the saw, I've gotten a lot of questions about it, and I can look up the number and I'll try to remember to post it in the comments. But this motor has been completely awesome. We had to make some parts for it to use it. I bought it on eBay for like $75. It was new. Nobody really wanted to use it because it had a tapered shaft and it didn't have the adapter plates with it. But we made all of that stuff, so it was able to take care of it. So this is a little more on my saw pivot. How that works is I put bearing. This is a bearing carrier in here with seals. I put seals and sealed bearings inside of it. Then there's a big brass bushing that carries the carrier inside of this to let the pivot all happen. It seems to work pretty good. It stayed pretty solid. The bolts that actually come loose in the saw bar are these ones. These bolt this plate to the carrier. In case I bent it or something, I could always take it off and make a new one. So the top roller, we machined all the teeth out on that, and it is driven. I've been thinking about adding some springs here, right here to the bottom of this, to actually put a clamp down on it and cause it to keep tension on the logs. But I've been wiring on it today, so everything's done, warmed up and running. I'll kind of start it up here real quick and show you what all goes on with it. Here's the 13 horse. Both the big motors there run, like I say, the saw bar, and they're just idling. You can see it running there. And then it's up and down with it. And then the top clamp, up and down. You can see the hydraulic motor rotating the bar, which rotates the shaft over here. And actually the chain runs up through the tower and causes it to come up and down. It's pretty quick. Doesn't take very long. And you got the main chain there. You see the lugs that I put on it. And sounds like a roller coaster. Run the bar up out of the way. The main cylinder out. Main cylinder back. Right there with the buttons. The rotation on the top clamp, and then the last one is the wedge up and down. This one over here runs the log deck up and down, and the last one runs the chains on the log deck. Not sure there. Unless he's stuck at the moment or something. I don't know. It might be where it's up. Might have a chain link stuck. But anyway, he's ran probably well over 300 ton of firewood. I've bent the pusher block just a little. Shut all off. Let's say I've bent the top of my pusher block just a fuzz there. If you can see it here. It's bent back just a little where I didn't put enough support in it up high. And the other worst thing I've noticed is I wished I'd have moved my log deck down one and made it one whole bar longer. If I'd have moved it down, I could have held a little longer trees, but not much. I can hold a 14-foot piece pretty comfortable. I wished I could get on up into the 20, and the next one will be. We've bent just a little bit of this stuff up here. This and the deck coming down from logs spinning on it. But other than that, I've towed it. The brakes work. Everything works on it. But overall, it's been a really good machine. I can't complain. I've busted a lot of my neighbors' firewood, my firewood, cousins, just about anybody that asks, I take it and go do it. It burns a little bit of fuel, usually around 7 gallons, 5 to 7 gallons an hour, depending on how hard you're working it. And it averages right at a quart an hour. So, well, anyway, you guys have a good one. Just a quick update on it. Bye.